How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hopefully, everyone's having a lovely day. So, how about these Cincinnati Reds? Starting to get back on track once again. Jonathan India takes the Reds to victory here on his go-ahead two-run home run against the New York Mets. Hunter Green looked very good, impressive, holding the New York Mets to one hit there deep into this ball game. It really wasn't until the sixth inning where, even the sixth inning, great news for Hunter Green, 70 pitches in that sixth inning. He was in position really to give a good deep outing for this Cincinnati Reds team, something he struggled with throughout his career. And you feel like, man, if he could string a couple of those together, get the confidence going late in the season. Now, unfortunately, Nimmo, solid hitter, had a great at bat against him, took him 10 pitches, and it just felt like from there the fatigue set in. He lose a little bit of his control and unfortunately gave up those runs to tie the baseball game, gave that home run. But before then, it was a promising outing for Hunter Green. Nonetheless, though, the Reds find a way to win this baseball game. The Reds find a way to continue to stay in this playoff race. Not only stay in it, but they currently hold a wild card spot. A very, very tight wild card race, to say the very least. The Reds, the D-backs, the Marlins, the Giants, 4 teams within a game of each other. So you got to finish out strong. But the Reds are in a position to, again, a favorable schedule. We talked about this about a month ago. Out of all the teams, the Reds are in a favorable position schedule-wise. They're going to play the Cardinals. They're going to play the Pirates. They're going to play the Guardians. And they're going to play the Twins. The Twins, it's the only team with a winning record. The Reds play the rest of the season. They're going to finish out the series against the Mets. Meanwhile, these other teams, they got a couple. They're playing 6 against the Dodgers. The D-backs and Giants still play each other again. You got the Cubs playing right now against Arizona. So it's like somebody's got to lose those games. Cubs a couple games up on the Reds right now. Anything can happen there. Reds in a good position from that standpoint, but you can't help but notice the Reds' turnaround here of late, coming up with the return of Jonathan India. What a roller coaster of a ride it has been to watch the reactions to Jonathan India as a Reds fan. This is the guy that came in there, dominated his rookie season, came second year. He was middle of the pack, if you will. This season, all of a sudden, all these young players coming up. Ali De La Cruz, we ain't got room for all of them. Ship India out the door. We'll get rid of him for a bag of baseballs. Fans were saying, like, man, the same India was talking about a couple years ago. That same guy. Did we give it up on him that quickly? That quickly. And here we are. You've seen what happened when India went down in injury. This Reds team, now there was a lot of injuries at once, but this Reds team crumbled and struggled mightily in the month of August, and to somehow managed to still be in the playoff race when Jonathan India returned. It's impressive, but now he does return. You look at this Cincinnati Reds team, 10 of the last 12 games Jonathan India has played, now and before the injury, the Cincinnati Reds have won. And there's no question about it. This guy impacts the way this team plays baseball games. We have to remember, this is a very young group, a lot of rookies on this team, a lot of talented players on this team, but it's a lot of rookies. You go through your tough patches, you go through the jitters, you go through the everyday routines, and sometimes they're a little bit more difficult than others. And when you have that veteran presence, you have that leader on your team, if you will, and Jonathan, again, still young himself, but you have that leader, that guy at the top of your order that kind of can instill that confidence back in the team, boost the morale, a charismatic player, if you will, and Jonathan, it can really bring up the morale and bring up the confidence of the rest of this team. Now, Jonathan, by no stretch of the imagination, has come back and just tear the cover of the baseball. But he's played well. He's got on base a couple times. He's drawn a few walks. He's got on base a couple times, driven a couple key runs, and most importantly, this last game, drove in 2 runs there that gave the Reds the lead, gave the Reds the win. But I think, it just a testament to how important it can be to have some of these veteran guys on the team. A testament how important it is to have a true leadoff hitter. I think when Jonathan India is not in this lineup, you're really shaking things up. Now, TJ Friedl, I like TJ Friedl. I think he can make it work with him certain spots. I think it gives the Reds and David Bell more flexibility when you have both of these guys. But kind of having India in that number 1 spot and kind of instilling a little bit more comfortability for the rest of the lineup, because you don't want to make the excuse for hitters, but statistically and historically, we've seen it before where you move a guy around in the order, and his approach to the plate's different, especially when you move him up to the 1 or 2 spot. We've heard Votto do it. We even seen Brandon Phillips, when we go back in the day, moving him from 3 4 to 2 and 1, how he approached the plate differently. Votto always said as well, well, I'm batting second, my job is to get on base more. Compared to you put me 3 4, I'm going to try driving those runs, be a little bit more aggressive. And we kind of see, you can see that in a lot of players when you start to shake them around the lineup. They become a little bit more unfamiliar with what they are. They might take a different approach, and maybe that's part of why you've seen the Reds offense struggle. there for a little bit. You bring India back, you bring a little bit of stability back, and the Reds find themselves playing good baseball once again. Hunter, I like what I seen out of Hunter Green today. You say Abbott can string some out together. Williamson can give this team some solid outings. The bullpen has been really impressive. You get this team to playoffs. These young guys, you got enough solid players in this rotation with this bullpen to say this team can make some noise if they can get there. If they can help get some guys back healthy, if they can stay where they are, at least I'm not getting more injuries, keep these guys healthy, bring a couple guys back. You got to say, hey, again, anything can happen when playoffs come around. But you got to get there. Right now, Reds in a good position to get there. If they can just keep winning the games they should. Love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.